Fined $5 billion by the Federal Trade Commission.
You're right that in 2016 we were on our back foot in terms of preventing Russia from attempting to interfere in our elections. We've spent a lot of the last few years building systems that are more sophisticated than any other company has at this point, and frankly, a lot of governments too.
One young man owns the primary means of communication on planet Earth. Unimpeded by law, and therefore unimpeded by democracy, and as we know, when law fails in the private sector, when law fails, we rely on what we call corporate governance. We rely on market pressure, competitive pressure, and we rely on corporate governance to put the brakes on bad behavior and to impede bad behavior when there is no law standing in the way. In the case of Facebook and Mr. Zuckerberg, there is no corporate governance.
We face a number of important issues around privacy, safety, and democracy. And you will rightfully have some hard questions for me to answer. People came together to raise more than $20 million for relief. But it's clear now that we didn't do enough to prevent these tools from being used for harm as well. And that goes for fake news, for foreign interference in elections, and hate speech, as well as developers and data privacy. We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
We have, under the auspices of private capital, these companies, corporations, private entities who have amassed asymmetries of knowledge that are not comparable to anything else that we can see anywhere in human history. It's information about us, but not for us. They know everything about us. We know almost nothing about them, including how they're surveilling us and what they're taking from us. They're celebrating the fact that they can find all kinds of behavioral surplus online without users ever knowing about it. That their methods never trigger the attention or the knowledge of users. There's just simply no other way for this economic process to work without surveillance, because we know that when you actually disclose these operations to folks, nobody wants to be part of this. when people learn about these kinds of operations, their first reaction is, how do I protect myself? How do I hide from this?